The Stage Door Show, celebrating the independent artist. With your host, Dave Hundell.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Stage Door Show tonight. This is Dave Hundell. Tonight we have a great writer, actor, and comedian who's a creator of a great sketch comedy show called Bragging Rights, and we're so happy he's with us tonight. So welcome to the show, Matt Algozzini. Welcome to the show, Matt.
Hey, thanks, Dave. Thanks for having me, buddy.
Absolutely. You have your sketch comedy show called Bragging Rights. First of all, very impressed, and love sketch comedy in itself, but I love the concept of your show, Bragging Rights. So I want you to talk to our listeners about the concept, because it's a competition, but it's also a show. And so talk about the concept and really where it was born, basically.
Sure. Yeah. No. So I came up with the idea in like late 2015, maybe early 2016, and the whole concept behind Bragging Rights stemmed from the fact that I was an athlete my whole life. I was not like the prototypical theater kid. I did sports pretty much all growing up, all the way into college even. And then when I had to switch directions and I wasn't playing ball anymore, I started getting into acting and comedy, and I always really liked doing comedy. And I hesitate to say the phrase class clown in school, because class clown kind of is the guy in the back of the room that doesn't shut the fuck up. So I was trying not to be that guy. Yeah. But I did like to be like, throw a zinger in and get everybody to laugh guy every so often. And I always wanted to like make the teachers laugh. And I started noticing I kind of had a knack for having something witty kind of at the cuff and just able to like zing it in and kind of make people laugh. And so when I shifted gears in college, I started acting. And then I got out of college and I was like, I really like comedy, but I really hate auditioning because, when you're auditioning, it's terrible. I mean, we all know it. Any actor knows, like, you hate the audition process. It's something you got to go through. 100%. But I was like, is there a way for me to kind of come up with something that like embodies the element of competition, which I was lacking and missing from my days of playing ball, but also like reinforces the fact that I want to do comedy and I want to act now. And I came up with this idea of like a competitive sketch comedy show, and with like a little bit of a twist where we do like a random draft, because there's plenty of improv teams and sketch comedy teams, and it's like, this is my crew and we all work together. But like what made Bragging Rights different was the element of like, well, you don't just get to work with your crew all the time. Like, let's grab a handful of people, 10, 12, 14, and we'll split them up almost like it's gym class. And we'll kind of draft like, all right, you're going to this team. Okay. You've got Allie and you've got Scotty and he's got Mike and she's got, Jamie. And you learn how to work with everybody. And I thought that was a good tool to use for the element of fun, because the teams are all different every month and they're split up. But also I was like, in the professional world, you don't always get to work with your friends. And I feel like this is something that would help down the road too. So it was kind of a long picture, like a long road, I should say, idea that I was like, this will kind of be really fun for the audience. It's a show, it's competitive, but the audience gets to sit back and kind of take it in as, theater goers, comedy show goers, but you have this environment that is sports, and it's like an arena feel, and it kind of feels like, well, who's going to win? Like we elevated to the point of like getting shirts, and like there's a red team and a blue team, and now we're at a point where people are like coming, like the audience are coming in wearing certain shirts, and somebody's here for red and somebody's here for blue, and we get red team chants and blue team chants, and everybody's kind of excited. And I live for that kind of stuff. I live for that live theater moment of performing in front of live fans, but also that feeling of, it feels like sports. It feels like there's a vested interest in who wins tonight, but we're all kind of on the same page. Like, sure, we want to win. It's cool to like win the competition, but whether you're wearing a red shirt or a blue shirt that night, you want to make the audience laugh and have them leave and being like, dude, that was really fun. We got to come back next month.
Yeah, for sure. One of the other things that I think for sketch comedy, everybody I think is an SNL fan at some point, where they watch Saturday Night Live to see if, if the sketches are going to kill or they're going to be lame or whatever. Because even if they're lame, you think, okay, well, maybe the next one's going to hit, and so you watch it, it kind of sucks you in. But the thing is with sketch comedy, you really never know, right? I mean, you might have something that you think. I saw Bill Hader the other day was talking about something that he did back in the day, and they thought it was going to kill. It killed during rehearsal, and all week long they were so excited to put this thing in front of the audience, and then it got to actually air, and crickets.
Yeah.
It made it all the way up there, but the audience that was there at the time that they actually played it was like crickets. And so you just really never know. But I think that's part of the fun of it as well, is that you really never know what the reaction is going to be. So if it does kill, that's even better yet. But that's got to be, I mean, for you yourself as a sketch comedy writer and actor, I mean, you got to have that. It's got to be that adrenaline's got to always be pumping to see, whether the audience is going to like it or not, right?
Every month, it's literally an adrenaline rush. It's a literal shot in my arm because I really enjoy writing the sketches and stuff. And I obviously love performing in them, but I really like to be in that environment with a rowdy crowd who's there to, I mean, visibly judge. They're actively going to judge. That's the element of the show.
Right.
And it's like a sink or swim moment that I live for. It's so much fun to kind of go, I think this is really funny. And I bring it to my group of guys and I go, what do you think of this? And they think it's funny. And then we rehearse it and we think it's funny. And then the last test is, does the audience think it's funny? And for whether you're on my team, whether you're on the other team, whether I wrote something, whether you wrote something, we all have that kind of collaboration. And like we discuss it, we have that collaboration of, why do we think this would work? Or why do we think this joke wouldn't land? Should we change it to this? Should we nix this part? Should we add this part? Does she have enough to say? Does he have enough to do? And then we kind of go through it. And I think the added element of the competition has that feel where you're not just, I mean, as you said before, like the SNL thing, like we're going to try something and see if it hits. Like the fun of bragging rights for me really is, okay, well, we're technically in a competition. We do want to win, but we really want to make the audience laugh. So because we have another team like going against us that also wants the same exact thing, let's not just hope something works. Let's really work on this script and work together to make it work, because generally we kind of all have good ideas that we feel like this has legs. And so it's this awesome group collaboration that builds on top of each other to be like, this sketch is solid. What's next? All right, this one, let's build it. This one's done. We're ready to go. And so I really like that, because we've had so many home runs when it could have just been like, this is pretty good the way it is. Let's just do it and we'll get some laughs and it's fine. If we were just doing a regular old show where, hey, everybody, we're going to do, 10, 2-minute sketches for you tonight, and we hope you enjoy it. And then it's like, sketch 1 was pretty good. Sketch 2 sucks. Sketch 3 was all right. Sketch 4 was pretty funny with that one joke. And that one guy was funny in sketch 5. It's like, no, like in bragging rights, we really want it to be like, man, that red team first sketch was awesome. Well, what did blue do? Oh my God, it's like a dead tie. Like they're both really good. All right, let's see what happens in the next sketch. So it really has like that competitive element drives, I think, the product better and makes it really strong and makes it even more solid.
Well, for sure. And then, you're up in New York as well. So do you do most of the shows in New York City or Jersey area? I mean, where do you do the shows?
I mean, I live in Jersey, but we haven't even done a Jersey show yet. We're on the cusp. I'm working on that right now, to be honest. I really want to do a show. There's a beautiful theater like damn near in my backyard that I really want to get into, and I'm starting the process of working on that. But we've been in New York City since 2016. So we're going on 7 years now. The theater that we have a residency with, Asylum NYC, they're going over, they're in an overhaul and they're on hiatus right now as they rebuild a new theater. They moved buildings. So hopefully sometime in the next coming weeks, we'll have some information about hopefully a reopening in the next month or two. That's what I'm hoping. But, we're at a point now actually where we've been doing so well and people have been interested in the product that whether I reach out to them or they reach out to me, there's some other companies or theaters from different cities from pretty much across America that are hitting me up. I mean, last year, it was September in 2021, and we did our first show outside of New York, and it was in Los Angeles. We had a great opportunity to work with, we worked with reality stars, we worked with voice actors, We worked with TV stars. We've had some of them in New York, but we worked with some of them out in LA, and we've developed like a nice relationship. So now we've talked about going back, and sometime this about the springtime, maybe early summer, we're planning on going back to LA. But now we've even been in touch with theaters in Philadelphia. We're planning a show there in the fall, and Chicago. We're planning a show, and Denver, actually. Denver, we kind of have something on the books. Now, the tickets aren't live yet. When they are, I'm sure I'll put them up and I'll be blasting them like crazy. But it's just really interesting now that we're in a spot where we can do shows outside and kind of have little tours or mini tours in different cities and expand the product and expand our reach, because I really work with like some of the best up and coming comics that there are. And I love the ability to give them an opportunity that they really deserve. And I really like the fact that now New York gets to see it on a constant monthly basis. And I like the fact that Chicago, LA, hopefully, Atlanta or Florida or Texas and, hell, even Indiana, whatever, like wherever we go, we're going to get a chance to expand the product.
Yeah, I mean, every town has a theater. You think about it, and I mean, it's a great opportunity for you to kind of spread it throughout the country. And have you ever thought about, maybe this is in the works too, I'm not sure, but have you ever thought about doing like, a web series or maybe turn it into like a TV pilot where maybe somebody might pick it up?
Absolutely. Working on that now, to be honest. That's been in the works for a little while. I think expanding the product and getting it in front of different eyeballs, in front of different cities and in different states is only going to help our cause. But me and a team of people are working on it right now, between my manager and some great friends that I've met along the way who are execs at different brands or stations, I should say, networks rather. We're working on that now. And I hope that eventually we can get this in front of many more eyeballs instead of just the touring that we're doing on the road live. I'm hoping that we can get it into a TV show or a streaming service pretty soon that, you can kind of check it out for yourself and in the comfort of your own home and kind of catch it, whether it's live or whether it's airing, Wednesdays at 10:30 on some sort of cable network or something, and or on Netflix or something.
Yeah, and the other thing I was gonna, talk to you about is the, working with all these different people, collaborating with other, comedians and actors and so many different people that you've had on your bragging rights, and have you ever kind of just sat in a room with all these minds, all these comedic minds, and you almost kind of treat it like a writing room for like an SNL type of thing where you kind of talk about different ideas and different things, kind of throw out different ideas that you want to put maybe into a sketch, and you kind of just do it as a kind of a team?
Oh yeah, we do that every single month. I mean, we'll get on a Zoom call or we'll get in person, and each team has their own monthly strategy and Zoom call as to how they're going to quote unquote win the month. But amongst that, you have 7 people on a team who are all like, okay, well, what are we good at? And what's going to make the audience laugh? What's going to beat the red team this month? And okay, well, I have this idea about this, or I have this idea about this setting, and you kind of build these ideas. Some of them come from nothing. Like one time, somebody suggested, they were like, "I have no story, I have no idea. I just think it's really funny if this person had like gigantic feet." And we were like, "Oh, all right, gigantic feet. How do we make a sketch with gigantic feet? Like, what do we make that work?" And then we went from gigantic feet to, okay, so this person goes into this office and we're going to use the feet to, we'll go this direction. And and then, somebody else jumps in and be like, and if we do this, then we can have this like this spin where suddenly like this person comes in and the audience will kind of look at it and be like, what the fuck are they here? And then like the gigantic feet do this. And it's just like this whole sketch came from like gigantic feet. It was ridiculous. But like we do that all the time. I mean, sometimes they don't make the cut. Like sometimes we come up with it, we write it, we vote on the sketch, because usually each team has 5, 6, 7 sketches, because you only do 3 in the show. One team does 3, the other team does 3. So the audience is seeing 6 for the night. So it's like a full-fledged lineup, but each team has to split it. Exactly. So you have to split it up. And then sometimes they don't make the cut. Now, Gigantic Feet didn't make the cut because there were some other things that worked. But the fact that this person had a full-fledged sketch now out of, I think having a woman with gigantic feet might be funny. Right. It's like he had a full sketch. He had no story. And, so, I mean,
concept.
But it's really good for our minds because we're constantly thinking, okay, well, why is this funny? And would the audience think this is funny? And would this work? And will we get belly laughs? Or is this just kind of like, okay, a couple chuckles and it's old after a minute? And then it's forcing you to think. And I honestly feel like the people that have worked in bragging rights, I mean, they've been so fortunate as to, they've landed roles on TV shows. They've landed some roles in movies. They've been on reality TV shows. They've gotten agencies, managers. They've gotten representation from it. And I think it's because it's helped everybody put in and come up with some of their best work because they're consistently trying to make the best overall sketch that they can instead of just going, okay, let's do maybe this sketch about something. Okay, cool. We'll just see if it works. It's like, okay, no, why will it work? And then we sit down and discuss, why will it work? Why do we think it won't work? Is this good, but just not right now? We need more time because the show's in 2 weeks and we don't need, we don't have enough time to figure this one out and really flesh it out as much as it could be. Like this could be a home run. And right now it's just kind of like, oh, it's cute. So, we tend to only put out our best products. Because the team itself wants to come home with the win and wear the championship belt and be like, okay, yeah, red wins this month or blue wins this month. But it's that validating feeling that I really came up with good material tonight, that an audience and special guest judges voted on us to be like, okay, you guys are the winners tonight, and then we'll see what happens next month. So it's really bringing out everybody's most creative and strongest attributes.
You ever find that with TikTok now and social media where people are watching short little videos and short sketches and and they're scrolling through their phone? Do you find that that you got to hit quicker with people nowadays? I mean, you kind of quicker.
Yeah. I mean, nothing against TikTok. I'm not huge on TikTok. I'm in my 30s. But it's also something that I realized, I probably should do, especially as a comedian. But yeah, I mean, the hit quicker stuff, I mean, the attention spans are just going so short each and every day. But, I really think that's what's interesting about doing live sketch or even what a video sketch. It's fine too. But I really think that's what makes it interesting. Can you make a sketch that's 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes? That's funny the whole way, without just going, okay, I have one joke, I'm going to do a 15-second TikTok and that's it. Sure. Because that's great. And, there's nothing wrong with doing the TikTok videos. They're really, really fun. And there's some people that are so good at them. They are so good. And, it is challenging. It is challenging to make sketches that are longer hit immediately. But that's the fun of, okay, we have to make this in the first 30 seconds. We have to get a big laugh. And then once we get that big laugh, then we can kind of tell this little scene and play this little thing out and flesh it out. As opposed to just, we're trying to fill an hour show. So each team's doing 1 minute sketches. That's like 10 minutes. What are we going to fill it with? But yeah, like TikTok definitely is changing the landscape of comedy. It's definitely, I feel like TikTok is more scroll worthy and stuff too. Like I'm going to scroll. Okay, that's funny. That's 10 seconds. This one's 20 seconds. That's cool. And that's fun to do in like idle time. But if you're going to see a show, there's really this power in being able to, can you captivate somebody for an entire hour and a half? Right. And, that's where I want to be more so, because I want to be doing television. I want to be doing movies. I'm jumping into features as we speak. So, Can I entertain you for more than 20 seconds? Because that's really what I want to do. That's my love, and that's what I want to do. Can I make you laugh for a whole hour as opposed to 20 seconds?
Well, I gotta give you kudos on what you're doing, because a lot of times actors and writers and people that are or maybe like I'd say more actors, but you audition a lot, you hear no a lot, you're constantly going to auditions like you said. And for you to just kind of take take it upon yourself to start this, and not only just start it, but now you're in your 7th year doing bragging rights. I mean, this is something that you went after it. You're like we talk about indie artists on the show all the time, but you're either a doer or you're not, and you're a doer
or a don'ter.
Yeah, but you're making it happen, and a lot of times artists, will sit back until the next job comes. But you're creating a job, not only for yourself, but you're creating it for other people, which I think they appreciate, and they're able to do their art in front of live audiences. And I mean, geez, after COVID, who doesn't want to get out and laugh? I mean, right now we need it more than ever. So you're creating that opportunity to do that. So, I mean, great job for you and everybody you work with.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Yes. I mean, it's really fun, especially after COVID. I mean, that COVID year was so challenging. The fact that there wasn't any live comedy. I really think that's kind of what birthed the TikTok fame. I knew it was starting to grow, but I mean, TikTok really took off during the COVID time. But I was itching to get back into a theater, back in front of a camera, like when I was just kind of sitting back with nothing to do during COVID. And we were fortunate enough to have theaters that really wanted us to jump in. I actually think, don't quote me on this, but I think we were definitely one of the first. Definitely not the first, but within the first 3 or 4 live shows to come back in New York City after COVID. And I took a lot of pride in that because it means the quality of the product is good. It means people were going to get a ticket and join us live when they didn't really quite know if they wanted to be out yet with the COVID and everything. And we had a great turnout, and we've been turning out a lot of great audiences and a lot of great material for ever since. I mean, we turned it out back in 2016, and we're still doing it in 2023. And the thing that I love the most about the show, honestly, is the fact that this is not like, for any indie artist out there, this is not a hey, audition, or you can't get really on the show, like we already have a group. Like, no, you can get on the show. Like, if you reach out to Bragging Rights or you reach out to me and you support the show, like, you get chances. Because like I said, I started this because I went to an audition once, and it was for like peanut butter, I think, and my one line was peanut butter. And I was like, dude, I'm not going to get peanut butter. Like, I'm not peanut butter guy. So like, I just walked out of there that day, and I was like, I'm sitting in a room with 20 people who kind of look like me in different variations. Yeah. And we're all just going to walk in there and go, peanut butter. Like, how many other variations can you say that line? So I was like, this shows nothing of my talent. And then I would go home and not get the gig. And I'd be like, I couldn't even get peanut butter. What the heck is wrong with me? Like, I must suck. But I was like, no, this is an opportunity to do that. This is an opportunity to be like, no, you know what? I'm going to show what I'm able to do. I'm going to show what I'm able to create by getting on stage and performing this. I was able to get into a theater, and, I've had, people come and people go, and I can't even tell you how many people have done Bragging Rights, and I'm hoping to add more. I'm hoping more people will come to the show and reach out to me and be like, hey, this looks like fun. Can I get an opportunity? It might not be right away, might not be the next month, but eventually I do make good on my promises, and I get everybody a chance to get on stage and come and roll with us.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the best thing, especially with actors. With that maybe we're out of work for a while, and and I think you talked about something on your last podcast too. One of the other podcasts about not really doing the Zoom things. I know a lot of people were doing Zoom, but for comedy, that's got to be weird to do something over Zoom when you're not really able to listen to the laughs and so forth.
It's timing, and Zoom is so difficult because Zooms crash and microphones don't work, and then you're waiting for somebody to hear something. There's delays, and then it's just, I didn't want to do that. I was just, like, I'm gonna just consistently write things down that I think are funny, and when the time is right, I'll do them. And same thing now. When the time is right, we'll go on tour, and we're going to go on tour. When the time is right, we'll hit a different city. When the time is right, we'll go to this theater. When the time is right, we'll look for TV. And I do a lot of work to try and make sure that I manufacture the time being right as far as the professional show. Sure. But the only thing to really do is come up with stuff that you have, put it down on paper, work with a group of people that you trust and that you really like, and you want to succeed and want to see you succeed, and to go out there and make as many people laugh as you can until they can't deny you anymore, and they're like, you guys are pretty good. You want to come to our theater?
Exactly. Well, I was going to ask you to give advice, but you just gave that advice. One of the things, like I said, people are doers, some people aren't, but if you're going to do something, eventually, if you stick with it long enough, it's gonna hit eventually. You're going to get you're going to get a demographic that's going to like what you do. You're going to get a certain amount of people that are going to love it. But you just got to do the work. And I think a lot of people think, well, I don't have a lot of money. I don't have this, I don't have that, but you just have to have a brain.
You just have to have the passion and the brain.
Passion, right? And then to do it. But just other advice. I mean, what kind of advice would you give somebody that's just starting out, or maybe they're a comedian or an actor, and they might have an idea?
I mean, if they have a great idea, I would go to people that you really want to work with and you really trust to make it work, and talk to them about it, because great ideas are only great if other people around you help you bring out the best in it. Because unless you're doing a one-man solo show, then okay, if you're going to do that, then awesome, get on stage, do your thing and see if it works. But if you're trying to do, I won't say team, but for lack of a better phrase, a team thing, you're doing a show, a sketch comedy show, an improv show with a group of other people, I would just say, you just to go out there and do it. I know that's cliched advice, but there's people that will take the risk and people that are, I don't know yet, I'm not sure, and whatever. And it's like, it's okay to not be sure, but you just want to believe in what you can create, because we're all different. Everybody has different ideas. That there's similarities in comedy and stuff, but my idea is not going to be exactly the same as yours. And even if it's like, hey, we both have doctor scenes, but they're not going to be exactly the same, because my brain works differently than yours. Right, right. Just because it's a doctor doesn't mean it's the same. So just go out and be willing to say, I know that I like this idea, I trust it, and trust in yourself to put it out there, and the audience will tell you. Like, I mean, all you have to do, whether it's a movie and an audience is watching, whether, especially in live theater, they're going to tell you immediately. Yeah. And then you go back and you dissect it, and you try not to take it personally. Okay, that one really worked. That's awesome. I'm glad they liked it. That one didn't. Why didn't it work? Dissect it, figure it out, kind of play Monday morning quarterback and go, all right, well, maybe it was because we joked about this. Maybe it's because this line didn't resonate with them. Maybe this line doesn't work in this part of the country. Maybe this joke lands in Texas but doesn't land in New York. Maybe this works in California but not in Florida. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So there's tons of that, especially now. It's just about trusting yourself in what you really believe is funny, or what you really feel like you can bring to the table that somebody else can't. Because guess what? I'm not going to be peanut butter guy, but I can be Saturday night sketch comedy, champion or whatever. I can be the guy that's going to make you laugh on Saturday night, but I'm not going to be on your TV going peanut butter unless I get really famous,
Exactly. You also trained at Upright Citizens Brigade, which is a huge improv comedy institution, basically. I mean, it's very famous in New York City. And talk about that. Did you feel that your improv training helped you develop some of these ideas, I guess, for your sketch comedy?
100,000,000%. They are masters at what they do. I mean, UCB, Second City, Groundlings. Those are your top three. I mean, if you're going to study, they were the pinnacle when I was coming up. I mean, now People's Improv Theater is really good. Asylum NYC is really good. But when I was coming up, those weren't really as high as UCB, Groundlings, and Second City. So being in New York, I went UCB, and I never took any sketch writing classes. I just took improv, and I was a graduate of their improv program. And I learned a lot coming up through there, like not even taking a writing class, just learning through their improv program helped me become a sketch writer, because I was like, okay, well, I'm starting to understand how to go about doing this. This is what you do to take an idea that an audience gives you and flesh it out without them really recognizing that you're doing it, and build these scenes off of that. Well, imagine what I could do if I had a second to sit down with my computer and write those ideas out. And instead of just, well, that improv scene was okay. Yeah, but if you took that and you wrote that and you really had time to flesh it out, you could make a great sketch out of that. And like, that's kind of what I did. I used the training that I took from UCB, and I turned it into writing sketches, and then trusting myself enough to go, I think I can create a show. And then I think I can create sketches that really work with the audience. And okay, now I think I can keep it consistently going. And then that worked too. So I got the show. I made the sketches. the people laughed, the people enjoyed it, and it kept going. And residency 7 years later, continuing.
That's amazing. And you play ball. I just I'm going to do this reference because I think it'll make sense to you. But you've ever had that one moment, performing, and let's say, because whoever has ever hit a home run, I used to play baseball. So if you ever hit a home run, you get that feeling like you're floating around the bases. You don't even feel the ball hit the bat. It's one of those things where, until you hit one, you don't really realize. But have you ever had that kind of feeling when you performed, after the performance where it was like that home run feeling that you really can't explain? It was almost like a spiritual experience.
Yeah, I did. I was fortunate enough to have a few of those. And lately I've kind of been having one per one per show. And I've really been fortunate because I've been working with people that have, understood my vision for something that I wrote and been like, oh, I get it. I see where you're going with this. And then all of a sudden on show day, it's just, wow, that was the funniest we've ever done it. We probably rehearsed this 5-6 times, but today it was just like joke hits. And you did something different than you've done in rehearsal because you're actually part of the sketch. You're actually like being a character instead of like, oh, right, I'm supposed to say this line right now. Right. Okay, cool. Like, it's like everybody's in sync and they're doing their part. He's doing his part. She's doing her part. And everybody's coming together to tell like the joke or the premise of the scene together. And it's just hitting. And the laughter is come. And it's just like, we'll go backstage afterwards and just be like, that was a blur, but did you hear how hard they were laughing at that? Like, where'd you think of this? You didn't do that like the last 5 times. I almost laughed because like, what the hell was that? I don't know, man. I just felt it. Like, I felt it in the moment. I just went with it, but it worked. And like, so there's been so many times where I've done something that I was like, oh, they laughed at that. Like, that was completely improvised. It was off the cuff. And then everybody else kind of rolled with it. It didn't throw anybody. It's like, oh, hey, I wasn't prepared for that. And like somebody lost their line. It was just like, then they rolled with something and we kept going with the sketch and we just found more things live. And those are the moments where it feels like, because for anybody out there who has not played baseball, when you hit it good, you don't even feel it. All of a sudden, you just see like the ping, and like the ball is flying, and it feels good. Or in basketball, when you let it go, and it's going in, it's like, that's good. I can turn around and walk away. That's going in. And those are the moments on stage that make you feel like, oh man, this is good. Like we're solid. Let's just keep going. The audience is on board with this joke, and we are rolling with it, and it feels great.
Yeah, I mean that there's no feeling like it, and I've had both as well, sports and entertainment both, and you just have those spiritual moments sometimes where you're like, wow, I can't believe that this happened. Do you ever have like a period of time, and this is actually can be funny as well, but when you guys break each other's character, sometimes you can't help but laugh, and you got to contain yourself.
Yeah, I mean, we like to call it like the Jimmy Fallon effect, where you're just gonna break. And I mean, I love it. I mean, it's so much fun because at the end of the day, comedy's supposed to be funny. It's supposed to be fun. I know that when you're in the business of comedy, there's this pressure that builds, but when you get on stage and you're not trying to just impress somebody or look good in front of some sort of scout or agency or something, or hope somebody puts you in their movie, and at the end of it all, when you're on stage or you're on camera and you're just telling the story and doing the joke, and it's just you doing your part and working with whoever you're working with, it is so much fun, and it should be fun. And especially live, when you're going to do a joke and somebody starts to kind of laugh and you can't help but kind of smile, and then they say something that you really weren't expecting, so you kind of just break for a second, and then the audience is on board with it because the audience kind of thinks it's funny because they know that you just broke and you weren't supposed to start laughing. And like I mean, I know that there's people that are like, oh, it's not professional, and like, you'd rather not do it. You'd rather, not break and tell the story, but it is so freaking funny to break somebody. And like, there's definitely been times, I think somebody once told me, my goal is to break you, because what my superpower, if you want to call it one, is every rehearsal I will break. every
Yeah.
rehearsal, but I do not break on show days.
Oh, okay.
And so one of my buddies,
way.
yeah, I'll knock on wood here because now it'll go the reverse. But one of my buddies was like, "My goal is to break you here tonight," and I was just kind of like, "Well, try, man, because if you're having fun and we're having a good time,
Right.
fun is contagious and
Yeah,
laughter
for
is
sure.
contagious.
Yeah.
So if you're having fun, I mean, sometimes the best sketches aren't even the ones that are like quote unquote the most funny. It's
Right.
really the one that the people are sitting in the audience going, man, they look like they're having a freaking great time. I kind of wish I was up there doing that. I wish I was playing the
Yeah.
teacher. I wish I was the doctor. Like I like that. Those are always like goals that I have where I want to be able to be in the sketch or write the sketch that the audience is like, A, I couldn't stop laughing. That was really funny. But B, that looked like so much fun. You guys look like you were having so much fun.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point. At the end of the day, this is entertainment, but it's entertainment for us too. Like we want to have a good time, and why not have a good time while we're doing it?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of my favorite sketches was the cowbell sketch.
Yeah.
And everybody was breaking in that one. That was part of the funny part about it. But so yeah, I think you're right. As long as everybody's having fun, that's the whole point.
Or even like Debbie Downer. Like
Yeah,
the whole
exactly.
point of that
I was
sketch
gonna
was
say
to
Debbie
break.
Downer
The
too.
whole point of that was to break.
Break each other. Yeah. Well, Matt, before we go, I just wanted to ask this question. When it's all said and done, what do you want your legacy to be? What do you want people to think about when they think of your name?
I just want people to think he worked really hard and he helped make me better, or he helped to make them better, and he was pretty good himself. Because I mean that would be a good legacy for me to have, that it's like working with him helps bring out the best in me. That would be a fantastic legacy, because if I can help make other people good or bring out the potential that they have in them, that'll help elevate me too, and then we all kind of come up together. And I'm not trying to climb the ladder and pull it up and be like, goodbye, I'll be up here now. Like I kind of want to be the guy that we're going to go up this ladder and we're going to do it together, So that would be a pretty sweet legacy to have.
Well, awesome. Yeah, that's well said. Bragging Rights, everyone, all our listeners, you got to check it out. Bragging Rights is amazing. Great concept, and could be coming to a town near you. So check it out. So Matt, where can people find you and social media and kind of learn?
Yeah. So if you're looking for me, which I hope you are, because I got hacked a couple months ago, so I'm trying to rebuild Instagram. So I'm Matt Algozzini, ALGOZZINI. And if you're looking for the show, it's at Bragging Rights NYC. DM us. DM me, DM the show. If you're looking to perform, all you got to do is come out and support. And if it's up your alley, because it's not for everybody, but it's for most people. So if it's up your alley, hit me up. Let us know. Tell us, this is kind of my thing. I kind of enjoy this. Can I get a shot? And we'll hook you up.
Well, Matt Algozzini, I appreciate you being on the show tonight. Again, hopefully we can partner with you in the future, because I really love what you're doing. And, anything we can do to help you, promote your work, we're more than happy to do that. So,
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you. Anything I can do, likewise, like I said, let's do it together.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
All right. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.